We're driving north along the eastern shore of Flathead Lake. Right now it's behind those trees. Waiting in line to get in. 3 windows, no waiting. Well, 1/3 the waiting. Going to the Sun Road. We're not going very far to the sun. Taking a stroll along the stream. I was just saying that as far as the hiking goes, I'd just as soon be at the Blue Hills. We've got rocks and roots and whatever it was that just tripped both me and Barbara back there. You look around, you see trees. The scenery's a little different here, but 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And as I said, the Blue Hills don't have grizzly bears. Those mountains don't look appealing to me. They probably look appealing to Bobby. He's like, oh yeah, we could climb that. But as a hiker, not so much. McDonald Falls. Not really the best overlook. Like you're saying, they need to cut a couple trees. The better view of the falls from up here. Lake McDonald. Yet another scenic beach along McDonald Lake. So it's 6:30 in the evening, starting to be a little darker outside. It's not raining right this minute, and I figured I'd go for another walk. Maybe I can find a bear. Hopefully not. Amidst all the mountains, one small flat farmable area. Driving up into Two Medicine. What was the name of this place? Go for yourself. Sometimes nature makes interesting sculptures. That's what happens when a twisted tree blows over. We're here on the Southside Trail at Two Medicine. We're out in a field. We get a much nicer view of all the mountains all around us. While you're getting ready. Nicer walking this way. You know why? The wind's at our back. They call it Paradise Point, but they must really be into wind. Got white caps on the lake. Sending love over to the windy corner. I'll stay here out of the wind a minute. Not bad here. The other end of the lake, you can see the lodges, etc. Up above, there's one little white spot, which probably is a little tiny glacier caught in behind those other rocks. Doesn't get enough sun to melt it. Goodbye, Two Medicine. It's been nice and windy, but we're home. Civilization. So we come a few miles and now we're out in the prairie. You can drive for an hour and there's no trees, and all of a sudden you come to trees.
Courthouse. On October 24th, 1905, a contract for the Lutheran Church. In 1903, they began the raising of funds to begin the construction of the Trinity Norwegian Lutheran Church. Jackson House. The original part of this house was built in 1913. Before it was a house, it was a machine shop. This house was built in the early 1900s by a man who owned the lumberyard in Choteau. George Corr, who took over as postmaster in 1920, lived here. Cole was born in 1869 and his home was built in 1912. He came to Choteau in 1900 as a teacher in the public schools. He was also Ed Hirschberg was born in 1890 in Fort Benton, Montana. Hirschberg House. Julius Bynum built this house in 1890. The bay window was a new novelty in those days. In the later years, Leo Pierre, one of the owners, had a shoe shop in part of this house for about 20 years. Hanson House. Hanson built this house in approximately 1892, equipped with the old knob and tube wiring. Crowson came to Choteau in 1887. His home was built with a round turret, cupola, an early day decorative feature which served no function.
The sidewalks in 1917. I think in 2017 they should have replaced it.
Maynard House. Dr. Maynard was born in Boston in 1872. In 1891 he graduated from high school and started on a westward journey that landed him in Montana as a physician and surgeon. He moved to Choteau in 1917. Coffey was born in 1887 and came to Montana in 1892. He was prominently connected with the city's interests and welfare and served as mayor and country attorney. Burns was born in 1873 near Fort Worth, Texas. He was a cattleman and enjoyed riding horses. He moved into this house about 1930. He had been mayor. Joseph Hirschberg came to Fort Benton, Montana in May 1879, where he and his partner formed a partnership and operated a mercantile store until 1887. This home is a Sears Roebuck home. In the early days, you could order a home through their catalog, and they came pre-cut to the plan you selected. In about 1893, Connor moved to Choteau. The rickrack design on the porch and eaves of this house was popular in the early days and was cut with a fret saw.
On our way to Helena, or perhaps Helena. Tree-covered hills. And you may have noticed they're working on the other side of the highway, so this side of the highway is two-way. Here we are, back to our own road. And we are winding our way through the hills. Well, that's took away a lot of rock to make this road. The highway gets flatter. What hills they have don't have any trees. In 1 mile. From one to the other. First time we've ever seen these things working.